Pac is back, ghost chomping at his feet. Pac's our hero, Pac just can't be beat, yeah!
Pac-Man yellow, Pac extreme, he's a chowing down machine. Yup, monsters, ghouls, and only one can stop him. Pac-Man rules!
The Pac is back, ghost chomping at his feet. Pac's our hero, and Pac just can't be beat. The Pac is back!
Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and they made what into a TV series, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, Episode 9. Episode 9 is called Heebo-Skeebo and is written by Bob Forward. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's this about? Why Zoom? Why is Damon not sitting next to me? And it's simple as this. Circumstances have changed. Damon lives somewhere else now. So we're going to be doing more Zoom, a lot more Zoom as we go forward. It means nothing really. It's still the same format. We're talking through Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures and offering our thoughts and opinions on the moment where it does something interesting, or in this case, not so interesting. This is a very forgettable one for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm annoyingly, I'm at a point now where like, why did we start this already? So
you knew that was going to be the case. When we see it was 2 seasons or 3 seasons, however we want to market this one as, it was always going to be the case. I'm not there yet. It's still early enough with enough new ideas to kind of keep me interested. I think we used this comparison before, but I'm going to do it here. This show, to me, is more Donkey Kong Country than Viva Pinata at the moment.
yeah, definitely. I mean, there's still a lot they can do within the show, but it's whether they do it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'll be interested to sort of see how well, you know what I want to see. We're not really seeing it yet fully, but I just want to see a show like this where there's a consistent story overall. So like events that happen in previous episodes affect events later episodes. You know what I mean? They get reference and stuff like that. It's one of the biggest flaws of Donkey Kong Country was that every episode was standalone. The same with Viva Pinata and things like that. It'd be nice to sort of see Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures tell a story across a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I just don't see how we can do two or 3 seasons of the ghost attack the town, Pac defeats them, same thing over and over again. So I'm hoping that maybe in like season 2 they'll change up a bit.
Are you insane? I swear, do you watch the same shows? If you'd said at the start they're going to do 2 seasons of Donkey Kong Country, which is basically people trying to get a crystal coconut, you'd have said, no, that's not going to last. If you'd said there's going to be 2 seasons of Viva Pinata, but like over 100 segments of where nothing really happens in any of them, like, so, I mean, of course they can get away. Of course they can.
I'm hoping this is a more like later. I don't know if it was filmed around the same sort of time, or if it was like maybe a bit later, so they might have learned from previous mistakes from previous shows. But I doubt it.
No, this is I think this is earlier than Viva Pinata, but later than, but definitely later than Donkey Kong Country and the like.
Yeah.
No, actually, I think this is later. This is 2013, so this is about 11 years old now. So this is actually later than Viva Pinata. So you never know, you might be right. But let's get into this episode, because this episode introduces Kingpin Obtuse, voiced by Lee Tucker. He's a crime lord of Pac-World's criminal underworld. So what we want in new characters, new layers to this world. And he's working with Brrraains, spying on Pac, and not convinced that the Yellow One is that much trouble. But Brrraains demands that he continues to spy on Pac as he's looking for something. I was so disappointed by this opening, because I was initially like, cool, new character, a new set of villains, a new set of characters. And I was envisioning all these different factions, so to speak. But by immediately teaming this guy up with Brrraains, I was like, oh, come on, man. He's just part of Brrraains' side.
Yeah, exactly. So once he gets defeated, it's not. So as soon as he gets defeated, he'll probably disappear, and we won't see him again.
Or if we do, he'll just be another minion. He's just another minion. Right. Elsewhere, Skeebo is trying to impress Silly at the fast food by buying loads of food for her. We ends up embarrassed and angry when she's unimpressed and Pac eats all his food. Right. Okay. We're gonna do it again. This is gonna be a lot of me stopping and interrupting. This intro or this starters episode, why do you think I'm going to hate Skibo? Show. Like they're not brave enough to make him a proper bully or a really mean character. All he is a bit stupid and a little bit arrogant. But he buys lots of food, tries to impress Silly with it, which is, silly in itself. But she kind of just like, I don't care. And then all his food gets eaten by Pac, who, bear in mind, Pac just robbed that food from him. He didn't pay for it, he just eats it and robs it. And Skibo's angry with Pac for doing that. And I'm supposed to think Skibo's the bad guy here for being mad with Pac?
Pac's the bully.
Well, what annoys me is it kind of goes back to the previous episode, but this whole Pac likes to eat thing just constantly is dressed up as Pac steals food. And we're all supposed to just be like, oh, that Pac.
Yep.
Before he can confront Pac, the arrival of ghosts outside send him hiding as Pac and the gang get ready to fight, except they see it's Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Club as part of it. That makes them realize, oh, it isn't a serious invasion. I don't know what that means. Like, just because they're part of it, oh, it's like it's not a serious invasion. They could just be pretending. Still, they have to take care of the ghosts, and Pac brings out his berry dispenser, which both Skibo and Obtuse see, and both realize this is what Pac uses to power up. And I was like, no, it isn't. No, it's not. It's what carries his power berries. It's not the fucking tool. He could still just hold them in his hand or put them in a pocket or put them in another thing. Like, they make this whole episode about getting the dispenser. Anyway, the yellow one eats a berry and sets about wiping the ghost out. Skibo is jealous seeing Pac save the day and figures he'd be a hero too if he had the berries. And I'm like, you know what? You're not actually wrong here. Because let's be honest, what makes Pac a hero is eating berries. That we saw at the very start. The others could eat and get power-ups as well. They just choose not to because it makes them feel sick. But like, oh, so the kind of thing that makes you special isn't actually, like, it's not you, it's something else.
Yeah, it's basically that he doesn't feel sick or when he eats the berries because he's yellow, I'm guessing. Huh.
Well, why he doesn't, who knows? But yeah, if this wasn't enough, Skibo gets slimed and his bitterness is getting out of control. It seems as though he and Obtuse have the same desire to get the power berries. Obtuse finds Skibo and pretends to be a reporter, looking for heroes that have been pushed to the side by the behavior of Pac. Obtuse wants Skibo to get the power berries, convinced it's so he can be a hero. Skibo agrees. You can kind of see where this one is going. Skibo being tricked into it to believe he's a hero, and he's not going to be. His attempts at school are futile. He ends up being made to look the fool as he falls over and over again, fails over and over again. Skibo gives up, and Obtuse asks Brrraains to distract Pac, so he sends out an invasion force of ghosts, something that is overheard by the good ghosts. The invasion attempt begins, Pac eats a berry, and the usual starts to happen. I am getting into the lazy way of writing already, where it's like the ghosts are doing an invasion, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to write about it. I'm just going to say they come along and Pac defeats them.
Yeah.
Skibo, scared and hiding, is confronted by Obtuse, and the opportunity to steal the berry holder is shown to him, so that's what Skibo finally does. Having dealt with all the ghosts, the good ghosts arrive to tell Pac what they've learned. But before they can tell him, Pac realizes power berries are gone. Oh no. Skibo has them in his cellar brain. Obtuse tries to get them off him, but seeing the good ghost, Skibo ends up eating a ton of them and transforms into a superhero version of himself. Not sure how that works. After getting control of his abilities, Skibo attacks and eats the ghosts, but it turns out that only Pac can actually eat them. He ends up spitting them back up on Obtuse before drinking in the appreciation of the public. So this is an interesting layer, I guess, of the Pac. What makes Pac more special is that only he seems to be able to actually digest the ghost to the point where it's just their eyes.
Yeah, so I guess that obviously answers the question of what makes Pac unique, I suppose.
I suppose at least does that. You're absolutely right. I'm glad it exists. Even though, if I'm being pedantic, well, Pac never really kills any ghost, does he? Because they just go off to be regenerated.
Yeah.
He boasts and gloats, even as the berries run out. Obtuse now arrives, still pretending to be the reporter, and declares that Skibo is going to take on Brrraains directly in the Netherworld. Pac obviously calls the plan crazy, which of course means Skibo wants to prove him wrong. And Pac, Silly, and Spyro have no choice but to go after him and save Skeebo from his crazy plan to go into the underworld, the netherworld. Something is needed though as well. Skeebo is knocked out and Dr. Buttocks gets the power berry. So they've won, right? As if. Pac and the gang arrive and chase down the baddies to get the berries and save Skeebo. As they defeat a dragon, Skeebo is brought to Brrraains, who discovers that all the power berries are gone, as it seems as though Skeebo has ate them all. Furious, Skeebo orders his guards to take Skeebo away and have him served as food, but Pac and the gang arrive. Does this mean we get a confrontation between Pac and Brrraains? Because, of course, they're finally facing off, right?
Yep.
Well, he kind of, but he gets away and Buttocks is eaten and Skeebo is saved. Outside, Skeebo isn't grateful and is being rude to Pac, and the next day he discovers he's been humiliated in the newspaper as it's reported that he was a coward in front of Brrraains. Because obviously that's the ultimate humiliation, that you'd be scared of Brrraains, which, if I kind of think my mind back, a lot of people in the town run away from the ghosts and Brrraains and so on.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're not given front page news, you know? Like, doing that is how you turn Skeebo into a villain for real.
Yeah.
Like that, I know I'm overthinking it. But it feels like a level of humiliation that's unfair.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But yeah, this is a nothing episode. I find it mostly boring, quite bland, and because it doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, and I'm not entirely sure they're willing to kind of go hard and heavy with the Skeebo as a bad guy thing. Now, how interesting would it be if over the length of this show, we see Skeebo humiliated more and more and more to the point where he generally does become a villain, like, and then maybe even overthrows Brrraains to become like the main bad guy? That would be so cool. That would make this episode meaningful. Except that I know, and not that I've read ahead, but I know just how these shows are and how this show looks. That's not going to happen. It's just going to be the same thing. It'll be minor humiliations for Skeebo, and him to made look like he's an angry kind of like bully when he's never really been that.
Basically, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, said they would never go down that route. Said it's probably just going to be the same old story every so often. He'll do something that he'll fail, he'll be humiliated, and then it'll be another story in an episode. So
bookmark this if we're wrong, because like I said, I haven't read ahead. I don't know if you have you?
Nope.
And I've not watched ahead either. So if we're wrong,
yeah,
tell us. Yeah, that'd be quite interesting to know. For now, though, this is episode 9, Heebo-Skeebo of Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. You got any thoughts? You know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.